You know, if you're a business in Bangladesh that jumped to the global market, it can feel absolutely massive. Like, where do you even begin? Well, today, we're diving into the story of someone who's made it his life's work to answer that very question. MD Joynal Abdin. People call him a business catalyst, and we're going to find out exactly what that means. Okay, so let's start with his own words. He calls himself a business consultant, but what does over 18 years of experience in that field really mean? Well, it's about knowing how to navigate those super complex trade policies, right? It's about understanding different market cultures and, maybe most importantly, building a network that's based on pure trust. So he's not just some advisor. He's more like a guide through what can be a really intimidating world of international trade. So, how does one person become a catalyst for an entire business world? I mean, that's a pretty big claim, right? Well, it's not just one single thing. We've got to look at his story from a few different angles. Think of it in three dimensions. We'll look at the influential positions he holds, the really unique skills he's got, and the career journey that kind of tied it all together. Let's kick things off with what he's up to right now. And right away, you can see his influence is spread across a few different levels. I mean, he's running his own firm, Trade and Investment Bangladesh. He's actively building bridges between Bangladesh and Brazil. Plus, he's sharing everything he knows through an online academy and, get this, over 1,000 articles. This is not someone who's just sitting on the sidelines offering advice. Nope. He's right there on the front lines, actually building the very systems that make trade happen. And this is where it gets really interesting. This is the dual skill set that makes his work so powerful. So on one hand, you've got this high-level trade policy analyst, right? The guy who gets the complex dance of economic policy. But then, on the other hand, he's a super practical, hands-on digital strategist. Think about what that means. He can draw up this brilliant export plan that's based on solid policy, and then he can turn around and actually build the website and run the social media campaign to make it happen. That mix of big picture strategy and get your hands dirty execution, that is seriously rare and incredibly effective. But look, a skill set this diverse doesn't just pop up overnight. Not at all. It's something that's forged over a long time. His career, we're talking over 18 years, is basically a roadmap of Bangladesh's modern business world. You can see this really deliberate path he took right through its most important institutions. You can really see a clear pattern when you look at his career path. It's a journey from these big, broad national roles to ones that are super focused and high impact. So he started out with the National Federation of Chambers, right? Then he zoomed in, focusing on empowering small and medium businesses at the SME Foundation. From there, he was shaping actual policy at the Dhaka Chamber of Commerce. See? Each step was like a building block, giving him the deep insights he'd need to eventually launch his own firm and lead these major international trade projects. Okay, so with all that experience under his belt, what does he actually do for a business today? Like, what's inside his consultant's toolkit? Let's break down the specific skills he's using to get real results for his clients. So what's really striking here is just how consistent he is across these core skills. I mean, whether we're talking about the art of connecting buyers and sellers, the technical side of building a website, or the strategy behind digital marketing, he's operating at a really high level across the board. These aren't just things he offers to do, they're clearly areas of deep, deep expertise. So let's take a closer look at how these skills work in the real world. So a lot of the time, it all starts with mentorship. And we're not talking about just some simple advice here. This is about being right there in the trenches with startups and small businesses, guiding them through those super critical early stages. He's really helping them take an idea that's just on a whiteboard and turn it into a real sustainable business that can actually grow. Okay, so once a business is up and running and stable, what's next? Well, for many, it's global expansion. And let's be honest, that can be incredibly daunting. That's exactly where his export support services come into play. This is all about demystifying that whole process, giving businesses the market research, the right contacts, and a clear strategic roadmap so they don't just enter a new market, but actually succeed and thrive there. And of course, a huge piece of the puzzle in global trade is finding the right partners. That is the absolute core of his matchmaking service. And I want you to focus on one word here: verified. He's not just pulling names off the internet. Nope. He's tapping into his deep network inside chambers of commerce to make introductions that are built on trust. That verification, that's the foundation you need for any successful international deal. And finally, this brings us full circle, back to his modern toolkit: digital marketing. Because look, in today's world, it's pretty simple. You can have the absolute best product on the planet, but if people can't find you online, you might as well be invisible. So this service is all about making sure businesses build a powerful digital footprint using things like SEO, social media, and smart online campaigns that actually drive real growth. All right, so we've seen the skills, we've walked through the experience, but what about the results? Let's get down to brass tacks and look at the actual numbers that show his impact over the years. This is where the story gets backed up by cold, hard data. First up, more than 18 years of professional experience. Let that sink in. We're talking nearly 2 decades dedicated to this specific field. That's 2 decades of navigating huge economic shifts, building an absolutely incredible network of contacts, and learning the ins and outs of trade policy. So this isn't just a number, it's the bedrock of his credibility. And all that experience, it translates directly into results. We're talking over 150 projects delivered. Now, every single one of those projects was a real business that wanted to grow, a tough problem that needed a solution, or a golden opportunity that was seized. It's a solid track record of turning plans into action. But maybe the most telling number of all is this one, over 145 happy clients. And think about who these clients are. They're not all the same. He's guided everyone from brand new startups just taking their first baby steps all the way to huge established companies looking to crack into new global markets. That kind of versatility, wow, it really speaks volumes. And to top it all off, it's not just his clients who are noticing. He's also received multiple awards, official recognition from his peers and the business community at large. So when you put all these numbers together, the years, the projects, the happy clients, the awards, you get this really clear picture of sustained, significant impact. So we've looked at the profile, we've walked through the career, and we've seen the impact. Now, let's shift the focus. Let's move from his story to yours. The big question is, how can this kind of expertise become the catalyst that launches your business into its next big chapter? And really, this is his core promise to you. It's not just about giving out some advice. It's about providing truly expert guidance, finding real-world global opportunities, and delivering smart, practical solutions that actually work. The whole goal is to partner with you to help your business grow way beyond where it is today. So for anyone out there who's ready to actually explore that kind of partnership, the next step couldn't be simpler. Here's the direct line of contact to get that conversation started, to figure out what unlocking global opportunities could look like for your business. And that leaves us with one final crucial question. This whole explainer wasn't just about learning about a business catalyst. It's about thinking about how to apply that kind of energy to your own ambitions. So I'll leave you with this thought. Are you ready to take your business to the global stage?